If the FTC gets its way, it's going to break up Xbox. And nope, that's not clickbait, my friends. That is not clickbait at all. The FTC has signaled today that, well, they're not done and they're going to go back to court. And as we've already known, the FTC at this point cannot stop Microsoft from buying Activision. That has come and gone. However, their maneuvers that they announced today would allow them to effectively try to break up Xbox if they acquire Activision, and then effectively the FTC finds out, yeah, this is anti-competitive or whatever they're trying to do this time, and then unwind the deal, which will get really, really messy. So let's just dive into what the actual news is today. So the FTC filed a document and said, look, we are not done yet. We have things to do. We have an agenda, and we are going to continue to pursue trying to stop Microsoft from acquiring Activision because we believe it is going to harm effectively consumer interest, is really what they are going to say. Specifically, this line right here, it says, the commission has determined that the public interest warrants that this matter be resolved fully and expeditiously. Although, many could make an argument that it already has been. Therefore, the commission is returning this matter to adjudication. So what in the heck does that mean? Well, adjudication is when the FTC files a complaint using an internal process rather than the courts, which is what we saw earlier this year. And now they're going to bring that back basically in-house of the FTC. And I would like to just point out that Microsoft has already gone through all these steps with Activision, and they have already basically won in every single region of the globe other than the FTC at this point, right? The CMA is going to announce they're going to accept Microsoft's remedies here before October 18th. That is pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered. The EU, while they have said, hey, maybe we want some of these remedies that the CMA is getting as well, has already signed off on previous remedies, so it will get through the EU as well. It just depends which package of remedies, one or both, really kind of gets it done. But the FTC is grasping onto something and thinks that, hey, we really can make a stand for this, I guess, is really what they're trying to prove here. And that is what this document is pointing out. The question really becomes is what new information do they have now that they didn't have, in the past 18 months? The previous court rulings pretty much pointed out that said, hey, of the millions of documents that Microsoft provided, none of them went against what they said they're going to do. They're going to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. They're going to continue to honor the contracts. There's no evidence that supports that Microsoft is going to maliciously try to impact Sony in this regard. And let's remind you that they shouldn't be protecting Sony. They're supposed to be protecting the consumer, which is the language that they do use throughout their documentation. But let's be real. Is that truly going to happen? I don't know. The reality here is that this is another headache for Microsoft. Now, if you're a Microsoft lawyer, you're probably quite happy you're a legal firm representing Microsoft because it's more billable hours as you have to go through this. And of course, it's going to get drug into the news. We don't really know what new angle they're going to take here by bringing it back in-house and out of the courts and into their own tribunal. But here's the thing. Let's pretend that they do get some sort of favorable ruling. Maybe the seating and representation on the FTC will be changing. And so maybe they get a positive ruling. You don't think Microsoft's going to appeal that? And then this is just going to get drug on, and this is going to drag on for a long time. And every day that goes by after Microsoft acquires Activision, it's going to be harder and harder to unwind. It doesn't mean it's impossible, but right, they're going to start integrating financial systems. Things are going to end up on Game Pass. There will be material pain to an Activision if they had to somehow unwind the deal after previously closing the deal. And then, oh my God, it would be incredibly messy and kind of hilarious just because, this has been going on by the time this latest FTC bit gets done, it will be at least 2 years at minimum. So, what is Activision saying? Well, the Activision saying this is a legal representation for Activision on the legal counsel, Lulu, who you've seen on everywhere, because she says, in response to the question of this, we're focused on working with Microsoft toward closing. How the FTC uses its limited taxpayer resources is their decision. That is subtly saying not nice things about the FTC and really firing shots look, you guys are just wasting money at this point. You've dumped so much time and effort into this that you're not going to get anywhere. It's been proven time and time again, and literally every jurisdiction around the planet has come to the conclusion that this will be fine. But here we are talking about it once again. So the timing of this is not super quick, despite the fact that they want it to be expeditious. Is not really going to be expeditious. It's going to be a few weeks at best, and then things will get, Microsoft will probably try to delay it, and they will drag this on, because at this point, Microsoft will close. I got to be really clear. Microsoft will be able to close, even with this effort by the FTC. They will still be able to close the deal. So, yeah, that is sort of been that big response today. And, it's been kind of a busy week of Microsoft news, by the way. Just today alone, also Xbox announced that they're shipping another dashboard update. Now, this dashboard update isn't as big of a deal as their normal monthly one. But for somebody like myself who likes their game clips, this is the update that is really going to make it easier. So it's going to make it easier to bring your game clips over to OneDrive automatically at the end of the day. But there's something that you really need to understand from the fine point. Microsoft indicates in this post that they will delete the clips after 90 days. So if there's some sort of scene or whatever, you recorded something, you really like it, you've got to move it from the storage folder that it automatically goes into now. It's not, I get why Microsoft is doing this, because this data is probably adding up very quickly. I myself like to save these things, and every once in a while I'll go back and watch them, so I'll have to set up a reminder. Maybe I can build a script or something that will drag them out of that folder. But just keep in mind, the other thing happening is this guy, whoops, hit the wrong button there, is also there's more Design Lab stuff coming, right? This has all been just this week, because last week wasn't crazy enough. You can now add, I like to think of them as gradients. So in the Xbox Design Lab, you can now add new colors. They're gradients. I think they call them shine, whatever they're called. But effectively, you have these new glimmer options, if you will, for your Xbox Design Lab controller. I have built one of these. Actually, I built a pink one for my daughter for Christmas last year, and it was honestly a great present. She loved it. And so just more colors and everything else. I will remind you that Microsoft has considered putting the Series X console in the Design Lab, by the way, but it was a project, quote unquote, not funded, at least not yet. So I don't know if they'll do that for their next version, but either way, Microsoft loves their customization, and we love that they love their customization, because hey, it allows you to make your console just a little bit more unique, especially when you toss in things like that Starfield wrap. And yeah. So there you go. The big news of the day is obviously the FTC still digging their heels in. But you know what? That's going to happen, and it's going to just keep moving along. And as always, my friends, make sure to keep it subscribed here, because the only BS on this channel is me.